So, good day everyone. I am Jelian Picolado. So now, I will tackle the topic of receiving. And so, dito sa receiving, it is the point at which a food service operation inspects the product and takes legal possession of the product or checking your purchase to ensure the correct items has been sent. So, dito sa receiving, pumapasok dito yung kung saan check natin yung bawat product na dumadating sa ating, sabihin natin, business natin. Meron tayong business, so meron tayong araw ng deliveries, and dito sa araw ng deliveries na to, nire-receive natin, and dito ini-inspect natin kung tama nga ba yung mga product na dumating at check natin na dumating sa atin. And ano nga ba yung purpose ng receiving? So, syempre, to ensure that the food and supplies delivered match established quality and quantity specifications. So, mahalaga na ginagawa yung receiving dahil dito, chine-check natin at make sure kung tama nga ba yung mga dumating na products and kung quality pa ba and kung tugma yung quantity sa in-order natin. So, syempre, hindi lang ginagawa basta-basta yung receiving, and merong process na kailangan sundin, and merong 5, and ang una ay kailangan nating i-inspect yung mga deliveries and i-check kung ano nga ba yung mga in-order natin. So, syempre, hindi lang basta natin tanggap lang ng tanggap, and dapat i-inspect natin bawat isa kung tama nga ba yung mga dumating. And number 2, inspect the delivery against the invoice. So, dapat meron tayong copy kung ano nga ba yung mga in-order natin, and yun, sa invoice na yun, doon pinapakita kung ilan at yung quality na kailangan natin sa isang product. And number 3, accept an order only if all quantities and quality specifications are met. So, wag nating tatanggapin yung mga product na hindi siya na-meet yung specification na kailangan natin, kung ano nga ba yung kung ilan lang yung quantity and kung ano nga dapat yung quality. And number 4, complete receiving records. So, kasama sa process yun na kailangan nating kumpletuhin yung records ng pagre-receive. And number 5, immediately transfer goods to the appropriate storage. So, syempre, meron tayong products na dry and yung mga na kailangan sa refrigerator. So, hindi natin siya basta-basta ilalagay kung saan, and dapat kailangan natin i-transfer agad kung saan nga ba yung mga ganitong goods, kung pang refrigerator ba siya or sa dry area. So, dito sa page na ito po ay meron tayong receiving system kung saan mas pinapakita at mapaliwanag ng maayos kung kung ano yung dapat na pagkasunod-sunod ng pag-receive ng mga products. So, syempre, una ay dumating na yung product natin, and check against purchase order and invoice. So, dito kasama yung quantity, kung ilan at kung gaano karami, and yung quality, and kung i-accept natin or i-reject natin yung product kung hindi na-meet yung specification, halimbawa na lamang kung wrong price, wrong brand, and item not ordered. Dumating siya pero hindi naman siya kasama sa listahan natin. So, syempre, hindi natin siya tatanggapin. And sa pag-report naman, give copy to driver. Mahalaga na may kopya sila. And keep copy for file. And sa store naman, yung add to inventory files. So, for this blind method, this method involves comparing a blank invoice or purchase order with the original order to ensure accuracy without bias. So, dito naman po, mayroong pros and cons. Then, pros naman ito ng blind method ay unbiased approach, and ang cons naman ito ay siya ay time-consuming and more labor-intensive. And sa invoice method naman ay this method involves checking the invoice against the original purchase order and any corresponding notes while also noting any deviation. And meron ding pros and cons, and ang pros ay efficient, and ang consequences naman nito ay requires careful evaluation. So, dito, sa last page po ng topic ng receiving, we have the policies for a good receiving. So, syempre, hindi lang tayo basta-basta nag-receive ng mga product, dapat din may policy. And we have 5 po. And number 1 ay coordination with other departments. So, mahalaga na nakikipag-coordinate tayo, hindi lang tayo basta-basta nag-work ng sarili nating station. And dapat nakikipag-coordinate tayo sa iba na sa ganitong araw, merong deliveries, sa ganitong araw, oras siya gaganapin. And number 2, training for receiving personnel. So, mahalaga na nagkakaroon tayo ng training and skill dapat yung mga bawat personnel sa pagre-receive, and hindi lang siya basta-basta pagre-receive, dapat may sapat na kaalaman sa pagre-receive ng mga product. And facilities, equipment, and sanitation. Mahalaga na magkaroon ng maayos na mga fasilidad, equipments, and sanitation. Dapat malinis and well secured yung mga gamit sa pagre-receive, and schedule hours for receiving. So, mahalaga na sinusunod natin yung takdang oras and date para sa pagre-receive para hindi magkaroon ng delay and maayos ang daloy ng pagre-receive ng mga product. And ang last naman yung security. Mahalaga din na meron nakabantay na mga sabihin natin guard sa isang establishment para sila din yung witness kung ano nga ba yung mga nilalabas at ano nga ba yung mga product na pinapasok sa company nyo, and potential consequences of a poorly planned receiving program. So, mahalaga din na maiwasan natin to, no, yung mga problema sa pagre-receive ng mga product. So, meron short waits, yon yung kulang yung mga dumadating na product, and substandard quality, hindi maayos, pwedeng nasira or may kulang, ganyan. And double billing, nagkaroon ng dobleng pagbabayad sa product na dumating, and yung next naman, inflated prices. So, syempre, malaking consequences to dahil hindi natin talaga may iwasan yung pagtaas ng mga presyo ng ating mga deliveries. And mislabeled merchandise. Halimbawa na lamang, mayroong dumating na product na sinabi natin, ito, meat siya. Nakalagay meat, pero yung nasa loob pala fish. So, syempre, mali yun dahil sa buong kaalaman ng nagre-receive ay yung nakalagay doon ay chicken, yun pala fish. And syempre magkakaroon ng malaking problema pag hindi naayos yung ganong problema. And spoiled or damaged merchandise. So ito yung malaking problema talaga kapag may natapon or may nasirang merchandise na dumating, dahil hindi natin masasabi kung sino nga ba talaga may fault. Pero syempre, at ito yung mga consequences na talagang nakakapagpasira or nakakapagpa-delay ng mga products natin na da-deliver. And yung last naman, pilferage or theft. So, syempre, meron dito, pag dumating nga naman tayo sa point na yung iba, na may pumasok na masasamang loob sa kalooban nila, naiisip nila magnakaw. And mali yun dahil marahil magkakaroon talaga ng problema sa paper, sa record kapag nagkulang yung mga product na dinala.
So now, let's tackle about storage. Storage means keeping things in a safe place until you need to use them. People store products, foods, or items to keep them protected and ready for later. So now, let's proceed to the process of storage. We have placing products in storage, maintaining product quality and safety, maintaining product security, and determining inventory value. So the first one is we have placing products in storage. This is the step where you put the products into a special area like shelf or room, so they do not get lost or damaged. Good storage help keeps products organized and easy to find. So the second one is maintaining product quality and safety. While products are in storage, you need to make sure they stay fresh, clean, and safe. This means checking them regularly and making sure nothing bad happens to them, like getting spoiled or contaminated. And the third one is maintaining product security. It is important to keep stored products safe from the theft, damage, or loss. This can include locking the storage area and making sure only trusted people can get in. And the last one is determining inventory value. This means figuring out how much the stored product are worth. You count and check all items to know their total value, which helps with business and planning. And that's all for my part, the storage and the process of storage. And thank you.
And for proper storing, dry food like grains, flour, sugar, and canned goods should be kept at 15 degrees to 21 degrees Celsius. And for meat and poultry, keep very cold, about 0 to 2 degrees Celsius, so bacteria won't grow fast. And for dairy, like milk, cheese, and etc., store at 3 degrees to 4 degrees Celsius. And for eggs, best at 4 degrees to 7 degrees Celsius. And for fish, needs colder storage, about -1 degree Celsius. And for proper sanitation, keep food off the floor at least 6 inches and above and away from the walls. Use airtight containers for dry goods so pests and moisture can enter. Clean surfaces like walls and floor should be easy to wash and not absorb dirt. Rotate stock. Use older items first to avoid spoilage. And organize products so they're easy to find. Label everything. Shelves and containers should have names and dates. And also use by dates. Help track the freshness and safety of the food. At right temperature, store it cleanly and organized with labels. This prevents spoilage and keep food safe to eat. That's all for my part po.
Inventory refers to the goods, materials, or products that a business holds for sale, for production, or operational use. This includes the raw materials, work in progress, and the finished goods. In trade and supply chain terms, inventory is considered as a valuable asset that supports production, sales, and timely delivery. Proper inventory management ensures efficiency, cost control, and smooth operation. Simply put, inventory is everything that a business stores with the intention to eventually use or sell. Inventory is monitored by calculating food use from beginning and deliveries minus the ending inventory. So there are two types of inventory system, the physical and perpetual inventory system. So this helps ensure accurate tracking and control of food supplies. So here is a sample of inventory sheet. Inventory sheet is used to record items, quantities, and costs, making it easier to track stock levels, manage use, and reduce waste for loss. For the valuing inventory, we have 5 types of valuing inventory. First is the actual purchase price method, the first in, first out FIFO method, weighted average purchase price method, latest purchase price method, and the last in, first out or LIFO method. For the valuing inventory, we have 5 types of valuing inventory. First is the actual purchase price method, the first in, first out FIFO method, weighted average purchase price method, latest purchase price method, and the last in, first out or LIFO method. So the first inventory valuation method is the actual purchase method. In this method, each item in inventory is recorded at the exact same price it was bought. So there is no averaging or assumption made. To compute this, you need to multiply the quantity of each purchase by its exact price, then sum them all to get the total inventory value. This method is accurate for exact cost tracking but also can be slow if prices change frequently. Next is the first in, first out or the FIFO method. This method assumes the oldest stock is sold or used first. So the ending inventory is based on the most recent purchases. To compute this, you need to use the older inventory cost for cost of goods sold and newer inventory in stock for valuation. This method is useful for perishable goods. It reflects the rising cost of inventory during inflation. And next is the weighted average purchase method. This calculates an average price for all units, then multiplies by total quantity. This one smooths out price fluctuations. To compute this, the average price is computed by the total cost of all purchases divided to the total number of units. And then you need to multiply the average price by total inventory quantity. This method simplifies accounting when purchase prices change often, gives a balanced value. Next is the last purchase price method. This method is valued at the price of the most recent purchase regardless of the older cost. So to compute this, you need to multiply total quantity of inventory by the latest purchase price. This method is a quick method but may not reflect true cost prices because it fluctuates a lot. And lastly is the last in first out method or the LIFO method. This method assumes that the newest items are sold first, so the older inventory remains in stock. To compute this, the cost of latest purchases are assigned to cost of goods sold, so the ending inventory is based on older purchases. This method reduces taxable income during inflation because the cost of goods sold is higher, so it is not allowed for some accounting standards internationally. Controlling inventory helps the business save money and stay efficient. It reduces food costs by ensuring that all items are used properly, minimizes waste from overordering, and lowers the risk of theft through better monitoring. It also reduces the need for excess storage space and prevents spoilage by making sure that products are used before they expire. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.